We will have an invocation by Margie Miller from Crossroads Community of Christ. Afterwards, please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag.
Lord, we ask you this evening for your Holy Spirit to be apparent to each one of us. May you bless each person who participates and each commissioner this evening. May each one try to be considerate and consider the feelings of each other so that their decisions may benefit the entire community, is our prayer this evening in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for some.
All right, for the consent agenda, we have the City Commission meeting minutes for Tuesday, January 22nd, 2016. The 2016 appropriation ordinance number AO1604 and the amount of $5,890,321.98. Are there any questions or changes to that appropriation ordinance? All right, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion was made by Mayor Powell and seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve the consent agenda as presented. Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
All right, we don't have any special proclamations or presentations, so we will now move to comments from the public. The public is free to comment on items not listed on the agenda. In addition, public participation is welcome and encouraged for all items on the agenda as the topics are discussed. Please address comments to the Commission as a body and be mindful of others who may also wish to speak by limiting your comments to 3 minutes. The floor is now open for comments from the public.
My name is Jim C. Taylor Sr., 704 Spruce, Coffeyville. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to present this early. There is some reference to the first item on the agenda, but I think this should precede it. I have something I would like to read. I'd like to give copies to the city clerk, and she can give it to you all, with your permission.
Sir.
I've been confronted this week with a lot of conversation about my negativity, and I want to make sure that you understand that if my position is considered to be negative, I'll proudly bear that responsibility. Commissioners Powell, Jim Taylor Jr., Commissioners Martin, Commissioner Williams, and Commissioner Castler. The attached copies of current emails appear to be a record of inappropriate serial meetings of commissioners at the offices of Fourth State Maintenance to discuss and agree to decisions to be made in regards to their tax exemption application prior to open meetings. I've requested through the Freedom of Information Act to be furnished information that pertains to these meetings and have not received any response. I was told that all requests for the information I was requesting would be accepted by City Clerk Price, but approval and furnishing of the material was to be provided and approved by City Manager Francis. I'm requesting that the Commission make request of the Kansas Attorney General to open inquiry into the actions of the City Manager Francis, his assistant, and all 5 commissioners. There is not any public record indicating that the required information to substantiate the claims for the exemption have been furnished to the city, and the likelihood that if the information was provided, it was inappropriate sale meetings at the applicant's offices. Calling the second reading of the ordinance and the passage or defeat should not negate your responsibility to call for an investigation of this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if there's not any further comments from the public, we are going to make an amendment We are going to move ordinance number S1602, the second reading of an ordinance to approve the annual renewal of the 10-year tax abatement for state maintenance to the end of the agenda to allow for more time and discussion on that matter. So we will now move on to new business. Ordinance number S1603, a first reading of an ordinance to issue general obligation bonds, Series 2016A, for the Municipal Facilities Project. Finance Director Stephanie Richardson will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, this ordinance pretty much does three things. It authorizes the city to issue bonds in a principal amount of $6,540,000 for the purpose of paying the costs related to the municipal building and the police and fire building improvement projects. It also states that these will be GO bonds, which basically means that it's issued by the full faith and credit of the city. The city's revenue source for these payments are to be the 70% of the half-cent sales tax that was passed by voters in 2012. And it also authorizes the mayor, city manager, finance directors, clerk, and other city officials to execute the documents that are required in order to carry out the bond sale. We will be doing the first reading of this ordinance tonight. The second reading will be on March 8th's meeting. The bond sale is on March the 8th, so we'll be bringing all of those details to you for approval that evening. And then the bonds will be settled and proceeds will be distributed to the city on March 22nd. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer those.
Any questions?
This is for the remodel,
This is the remodel funding, yes.
and it's how much?
$6,540,000.
Further questions?
I have none.
I don't have any.
All right, I move to approve ordinance S1603 for adoption.
Second.
Motion was made by Mayor Powell and seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve ordinance number S-16-03 for first reading. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Castler,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye. All right, now an action to approve a cereal malt beverage license for La Colonial International Foods at 114 West 9th Street. City Clerk Cindy Price will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, we received an application for the La Colonial International Foods. It is located at 114 West 9th Street in the downtown mall. They've had their health inspection. The fire department has been there, passed the background check, and they meet all the criteria to receive a cereal malt beverage license.
Okay. Any questions? Motion?
Move to approve cereal malt beverage license for the stated business.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Mayor Powell to approve a cereal malt beverage license for La Colonial International Foods at 114 West 9th Street. Mayor Powell,
Aye.
Commissioner Castler,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
All right, we'll now have discussion and action to appoint one person to the Planning Commission, serving to January 1st, 2019. The applicants being Steve Cornell and Scott Massman. Again, City Clerk Cindy Price will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, we do have two openings on the Planning Commission. One of those is for an applicant that lives inside the city limits. The second is for someone who lives outside of but within 3 miles of the city limits. We received two applications for the inside the city limit position. That would be Steve Cornell, who is a current member of the Planning Commission, and Scott Massman. Both of them are here tonight and will answer any questions that you have.
So we've got to vote for one of the two.
Yes, there's two applicants for one position. The outside the city limit, we will still continue to advertise for that position.
How long has that position been open?
It's just now open.
Max Williams was doing that, wasn't he?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't Max Williams doing that?
Max, they're on the planning commission, there are two that live outside the city limits, and Max is one of those.
Who was the other?
Mike Mongan is
That's correct.
the person who served the other outside the city limit. He served 2 complete terms and it was unable to be reappointed.
This is the part that I don't like, is that you struggle to get people to serve on city boards. And then when you get 2 outstanding applicants, you have to turn one away. And it doesn't seem right, it doesn't seem legitimate to ask people to serve on a city board, and then when you get 2 good applicants, you turn one away. It just doesn't set well with me. Don't one of you guys own some property outside of town? Yeah.
Well, you know, the other day I pulled a coin out, you know, and making a comment, sometimes it's just, you're right on the fence. You know, that was my point. Some people didn't quite understand it, they took it a little funny, but, you know, we got two good applicants, and it's a flip of a coin as far as I'm concerned, but, you know, kind of a deal. I don't know what to do here. I don't have any suggestions.
I'd like to hear what they have to say
Okay?
myself, just like we normally do.
Sure.
Anybody else have a problem with that?
I don't.
I think what the commissioner would like is for both of you guys to come up and introduce yourselves and tell us why you would like to serve on the board.
My name's Scott Messman, 4302 West 6th Street. This is a crucial time in planning for the city of Coffeyville. I've been involved with the city of Coffeyville for a number of years. The planning for the park that we may develop in the flooded area, I would like to be involved with that. Seeing that I am a licensed land surveyor, I would be able to help you with the legal descriptions for that. And then the commercial corridor interests me very much. I question why there's so much residential still along the commercial corridor that should probably be zoned all commercial. And I'll entertain any questions you have on anything.
You've got plenty of time.
Right now I do. I hope to change that.
You hope to not have enough time, or not have?
I don't have any questions.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Steve Cornell, owner of Coffeyville Sectam. We've got an employment base of about 70 employees. Live at 1503 Cortez. Born and raised here, and just willing to volunteer my time to continue serving on the board.
Have you got plenty? I want to be fair. Have you got plenty of time, Steve?
I've got the time for this board.
We had a conversation tonight about time on another issue, kind of an inside from there.
Haven't we amended things before to include additional people?
You've suspended rules in the past. Our ordinance and state law provides that 2 of the planning commissioners shall reside outside of the city limits.
Okay, but we can suspend the rules and increase our inside the city limits.
You can. I think we have.
We've done that a number of times.
Yes.
Well, we've increased it in the past,
We did
too.
that, once, and then we turned around and changed it because we didn't get the applicants to fill the board.
Okay, and the matter of increasing it and decreasing it is just a matter of doing paperwork and then voting on it, correct?
This one is an ordinance,
It's
isn't
an
that?
ordinance. It would require a new ordinance to expand the size of it.
But you also would be going from an odd number to an even number.
If you get the entire board filled, which a lot of times we have a difficult time getting the entire board filled, correct?
There have been times, yes.
But in this situation, if we accept both of them, we'd be going to an even number, is what you're saying.
If you change the number to increase the number of
Right,
inside the
right.
city limit positions, that would create an even number on the board.
Mayor?
Would both of you be willing to still serve if we voted one in for tonight, and then we flip a coin to see which one tonight, and then the next one comes on board at a later, when we get the rules changed? Would that work? Is there something strange about that deal? Trying to have a cake and eat it too here.
I have a
Well,
question. Please. Steve, you've served on the board for how long?
1 year.
1 year? And then you filled an expired term
That's correct.
of someone who either left or what have you. And those are 4-year terms?
They're 3-year.
3-year terms? Can you tell me who's up for the next one up and when?
January 1st of 17, we will have 2 inside the city limit positions, and that would be Randall Hills and Doug Mish.
I'll submit a motion to appoint Scott Massman.
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Commissioner Castler and seconded by Mayor Powell to appoint Scott Massman to a 3-year term on the Planning Commission, serving to January 1st, 2019. Commissioner Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
I'm going to abstain due to conflict of interest. I do business with them, I mean, I don't have to vote, do I? If I got a conflict. I do business with them, I mean,
He can abstain.
He can abstain.
He can abstain.
I believe that would be a
An abstention goes with the majority.
No,
What?
An abstention goes with the majority.
I thought
Commissioner Williams.
aye.
All right, congratulations. We will now have discussion and action to appoint one person to the Recreation Commission serving to March 10th, 2020, the applicant being Lisa Collins. City Clerk Cindy Price will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, this one should be a little easier for you. The Recreation Commission consists of 5 members. 2 of those are appointed by the city, and 2 of those are appointed by USD 445. The 5th is appointed from within that group. We have 1 open position on one of the city-appointed positions. We had 1 applicant, and this will be for a 4-year term. The applicant was Lisa Collins, and she is here tonight.
Does anyone have any questions for Lisa?
Yeah, that should
I
be
think that
16.
we need to have her introduce herself.
Yeah.
and-
Lisa, would you be willing to come up and introduce yourself?
Where'd she go? Oh.
Lisa Collins, 108 North Buckeye.
Oh, just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you'd like to be on that board.
I was born and raised here. Work at Community State Bank. Have an 8-year-old boy. I finished up someone else's spot. I think I was there for a year, and I just feel like I'm just now getting started, and I feel like I have a lot more to offer.
I got an email from David today stating that he wouldn't be here, but he has some glowing reviews for you. What have you brought to the board that some of those haven't?
Well, I feel like I look at the whole picture. Not only am I standing up for the children, but I also try to help David make good decisions on things that are going on. And they're trying to, we want it to be just, not just for children, but for adults too, and we're slowly getting things going on that.
Anybody else?
I don't have any further questions. If no one else does, I'll move to approve Lisa Collins as applicant for the Coffeyville Recreation Commission Board.
I'll second it.
Oh, go ahead.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to appoint Lisa Collins for a 4-year term on the Recreation Commission, serving to March 10th, 2020. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye. All right, congratulations, Lisa. All right, we will now do Resolution R-1632, a resolution to call a special question election for the purpose of imposing a special purpose 0.5% citywide retailer sales tax for assisting the financing of healthcare and emergency services provided by CRMC. Sales tax to commence upon the expiration of the 2002 healthcare sales tax. Monty Kaufman, CRMC Board of Trustees, will make comments.
My name is Monty Kaufman, and I'm reside at 3971 County Road 2200. And Mayor Powell, actually, I'm a member of the Board of Directors.
Okay.
So
Misprinted.
with lawyers in the room, we'll get it
All right.
correct. The resolution you have in your packet is a request from the Board of Directors and the Board of Trustees of CRMC, asking that the commission pass and give CRMC the opportunity to have and to hold a special election on the question of the sales tax, healthcare sales tax extension. Certainly tonight, we are not here to debate the merits of that question. We are here to ask your permission for the favorable passage of the resolution that would allow for an April 5th special election. Certainly the cost of that election is being borne by CRMC, and the merits of that question to our community and to the citizens of Coffeyville rest solely on CRMC to articulate the merits of that for the voters to support that extension. So tonight we do ask for your favorable passage of this resolution so the citizens can vote on that question.
I have a question. This is not a new tax. This is a continuation of a tax that's already in place that was put in place back in 2002 for the expansion of the hospital that expanded CRMC be I don't know what the official term is, but the West Wing, so to speak. And this is not a new tax, but the tax that you are referring to would either expire in 2022 or expire when the bonds that were issued have been paid off.
The tax the half-cent healthcare sales tax would expire at the time that the bonds are paid off. And we expect that to happen this summer, August of 2016.
So what I'm trying to get at is that this is not a new tax.
There's no new tax. It's the extension of what's already been in place for the last 14 years.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
All right, I'll move to approve Resolution R-1632 for adoption.
Second.
Motion was made by Mayor Powell and seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve Resolution Number R-16-32 for adoption. Mayor Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monty. All right, resolution number R1633, a resolution to implement a January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2016 Personnel Manual Memorandum of Agreement with International Association of Firefighters. City Manager Kendall Francis will make comments.
Mayor and Commission, this is the first of the next two resolutions to deal with MOAs for, the first one will be the International Association of Firefighters. We have been negotiating pretty much since the day that I arrived on the job, and just recently reached an agreement with the IAFF, and it gave some concessions that, but I think it's a great compromise, and I entertain questions about it, but and I believe that you should have had the redlined edition version of the MOA.
Here's, and I think that what we got was a spurred by something that I said. I had stated before that I wouldn't vote on any agreement that I didn't read myself. And what we got is we changed this paragraph 14 to read from that, but it's difficult to understand, change this word in this paragraph to that word in this paragraph when the whole paragraph's not there to read.
Okay.
And I probably should have mentioned this before, and I'm kicking myself now for not mentioning it, but I'd prefer to read the whole thing without reading, change paragraph 1, 17th word to 3 instead of 2. You see what I'm saying?
Understand, yeah.
And I think that that was an oversight it's on me. I prefer to read the whole thing.
Well, and I'll accept part of the blame because Cindy did ask if I wanted the entire MOA put in the packet, but I told her that I didn't believe that it was necessary.
I think the last time we addressed some of this, I think that it was prior to your arrival. We got great big stacks of.
And that's what you would have received again.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that because sometimes I just have a boring night, I guess, or a boring life, and I want to read contracts. I take I don't want you to think that I'm not taking your word at face value, because I do, but I just prefer to read what I'm going to vote on before I vote on it.
Okay,
and it's on me.
I can give you a couple of the highlights. As we had discussed, there are no raises being offered, and I think that was going into negotiations, that was made known to all unions. We've held the line on that, and so the concessions that were made, in most parts were non-monetary, just to protect the budget. And I guess, yeah, I'm asking you to take my word on it a little bit that.
Yeah, this is
Have we been working without a I'm sorry, but I wasn't done questioning.
Yes.
Have we been working without a contract for the last 2 or 3 months?
Since January 1, we were operating under the old agreement.
Okay.
And this will backdate to January 1. It is a 1-year agreement, and also one of the things that we've agreed to is to start negotiations roughly in April so that we can get ahead of this and not be in this position next year. You know, as we waited until August, you know, to my arrival before negotiations began, it kind of put us behind. Well, not kind of, it did.
Would anyone else be interested in reading these?
Well, can we go into executive session and talk about this real quick, and then we come out and vote?
Yeah,
We can.
Yeah,
I mean,
we can.
answering questions,
yeah, I'd be in favor of that.
you can get
So
it
we
done
can
that
ask
way.
those.
It won't take very long.
Yeah,
You just need to go over this.
7 o'clock.
Do
How
we
much time?
wanna-
We need 10 minutes.
Can we put it off and do it at the end? Or do we just go ahead and do it? Just go ahead and do it, probably.
Whatever your
Yeah, let's
preference
Okay.
is.
do it
Okay.
now. Everybody else can have a break, I guess. All right, so are you making a motion to,
I'd make a motion to go into executive session, talk about non-elected personnel.
okay, not to exceed, I'd say 10 minutes, to
Yeah, I
reconvene
think,
on or before 7:10?
yep.
Okay.
Motion was made by Commissioner Taylor and seconded by Mayor Powell to recess to executive session for discussion of non-elected personnel to reconvene on or before 7:10. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Cindy.
All right, we will now resume. All right, after discussion, I will move to approve Resolution R-1633 for adoption.
Second.
The motion was made by Mayor Powell and seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve resolution number R-16-33 for adoption. Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
All right, Resolution R-1634, a resolution to implement a January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2016 Personnel Manual Memorandum of Agreement with International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Again, City Manager Kendall Francis will make comments.
Same thing?
Same thing.
Move to approve Resolution 16-34.
Second.
The motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to approve resolution number R-16-34 for adoption. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye. All right. Resolution R-1635, a resolution to execute an agreement with Republic Services for residential solid waste collection services. City Clerk Cindy Price will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, our current residential trash contract expires March 31st of this year. We did go out for bids. We received 3 bids, and our residential trash is the trash that's picked up at each residence. They've got the poly cart, and it's billed on the city's utility bill. We received 3 bids. I did provide a bid tab. Republic Services submitted the low bid at $9 for regular pickup, $8.75 for senior pickup, and $5.96 for an additional poly cart. Along with the bids, we asked for a bid to have our bulky waste picked up on Monday or bulky waste picked up on Friday to see if there was a difference in the price. We've had a lot of discussion internally that it would make sense to have bulky picked up on Monday as people are doing their cleanups on the weekend. Oftentimes they either just have to hold the items in the garage, or worse, they take it out and put it at the curb, and then it sits there for the entire week. So the bids were the same, whether it was on a Monday or a Friday. We reviewed the bids as a group and are recommending the following: that we contract with Republic Services for residential trash services. They did submit the low bid. We're very familiar with their services, as they provided our residential trash from 2007 to 2010, and they did meet all the bid specs. We recommend that we move the bulky pickup to Monday, and we also recommend that we keep our trash rates the same for our residents at $13 for regular, $12 for senior, and $7 for additional poly carts. This will allow us to continue to utilize the margin or the difference between what we pay for the service and what we bill for the service for our cleanups. We'll be able to do some additional housing demolition and nuisance cleanups. If you have any questions, we'd be glad to answer it. Everybody that was involved, Kendall, Stephanie, and Bradshaw, are all here and can help answer any questions.
So this will change from our current...
This will change. Waste Connections has been picking up for the last 6 years. They've done our residential. They met all the bid specs. Their bid was very good. It was just not the low bid.
Question, service going to remain the same?
The service will remain the same. It'll be picked up once a week.
Days of service
days
going to
of-
remain
Now,
the
that
same?
we'll have to determine that. I mean, there will be a change. When you change contractors, we'll have the polycart switch out.
And there won't be any
There'll be,
overlap on when they pick up the old ones and drop
no,
off the new ones, no delay.
there may be, during the week where the change out, people may have 2 cards out,
Okay.
you know.
What we're trying to determine is there's not going to be any lapse of service.
There will be no lapse of service.
Still going to be curbside pickup.
Correct.
Still going to come up to the house and get the poly carts for the seniors that
For
can't
the
get them.
at-the-house pickup.
Right, they
correct.
can't get them to the curb. Same thing, basically same contract, just with a different provider.
That is correct.
Okay, no further questions. Additional?
Nope.
I move to approve resolution number R-16-35.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to approve resolution number R-16-35 for adoption. Mayor Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
All right. Resolution R-1636, a resolution to execute an agreement with Waste Connections for city-owned facilities solid waste collection services. Cindy Price will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, when we did our trash bids, we also requested bids for our buildings, the city buildings, and we have 32 locations that require trash pickup. Waste Connections submitted the low bid at $1,594.86 per month. What we're actually doing is swapping. Waste Connections currently does our residential, Republic does our city-owned. With these contracts, what we're recommending is that Waste Connection pick up our city-owned trash.
Same questions.
It will be the same, yes.
Additional questions? No. Move to approve resolution number R-16-36.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Mayor Powell to approve resolution number R-16-36 for adoption. Commissioner Williams.
Yes, aye.
Aye. Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye. All right, resolution R-1637, resolution to execute a quitclaim deed conveying 1112 West 10th Street to Habitat for Humanity. Assistant to the City Manager, Tricia Perdun, will make comments.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. In 2015, Wells Fargo Bank approached the City of Coffeyville regarding their housing donation program. For homeowners that have gone into the foreclosure process, Wells Fargo would like to donate those homes to the city for economic development purposes, for the city to maybe rehab the homes, demolish the homes, to get infill housing going in communities. They provided the City of Coffeyville with the home at 1112 West 10th Street, as well as a donation of $7,500 that should be used for any purpose related to that property. Upon structural evaluation, the house was deemed unsalvageable due to severe wood rot, termite damage, and mold issues. Part of the $7,500 was used to demolish the structure and pay the taxes on the property while the city owned it. Now the demolition is complete, the property is ready for infill development. Habitat for Humanity of Montgomery County has agreed to take the property for their redevelopment efforts, along with any remaining balance of the funds from Wells Fargo. That program was very helpful in removing a home that was beyond repair. It offers an opportunity for our local Habitat for Humanity to redevelop a neighborhood that is still in very stable condition and could use some new housing. It's staff's recommendation to complete the donation process and donate the land at 1112 West 10th Street to Habitat for Humanity, as well as the remaining funds of $1,143.04 from the Wells Fargo grant to help what Habitat maintain or build a new home on that lot. I'm available for questions.
Thank you.
I have a question. We did this before on a lot on 8th Street, and I think it was half, I don't remember exactly, half the lot belonged to someone that they donated, and then the city owned the other half, and we donated to Habitat for Humanity, and they built a house there, and it all worked out great. But the question I have is on that particular piece of property, we put a 12-month clause on there that they would have to build within the next 12 months after that donation was made, and that I think there was a problem in the past to where we would donate property and then it would sit there for a considerable amount of time before anything that was done with it. I think that this is great, but I think that we should continue with our 12-month clause, that they should have to start building on that between that 12 months prior to that being donated.
And what's the process to have that done? Is this-
Well, you have a good memory, because I'm looking at the deed from 2013 that says that grantee shall initiate construction of a residential structure within 12 months from the date, and we probably ought to ask Habitat if that's a reasonable number, if it needs to be 24 months, or
I think there just needs to be some type of expectation of when they're going to start building, so that way it just doesn't sit there for another empty lot for, the next 12, 15 years. And obviously, 12 months was good with them last time.
yeah.
We would definitely want to approach them and let them know that that was a recommendation by the commission and see what they could do.
So that's just a provision that would be on the deed, a reversionary provision that says that the property would come back to the city if they don't initiate construction.
Okay. Can we pass this resolution tonight with that amendment? Okay. Any further questions?
Nope.
Okay. I move to approve Resolution R1637 for adoption with the changes in the provision.
I'll second it.
How many months, Paul?
Well, I think we're suggesting 12, but to see what.
To be determined.
That's acceptable.
We would work, my initial thought is we would work with them. It just needs to be some type of number in there, yeah.
Motion was made by Mayor Powell and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to approve resolution number R-16-37 for adoption, with a clause added, a deed restriction on a time frame for building a structure. Mayor Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
All right, Resolution R1638, a resolution to execute a construction contract with Bryant and Bryant Construction for the 9th Street Road Project. Engineering Superintendent Thomas Osborne will make comments.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight I bring before you a contract with Bryant and Bryant Construction. This is essentially phase 2 of the 9th Street project. We have the water line, which you may have saw the equipment moving in onto the 11th Street property that we purchased for the police fire. We're using that as a laydown yard. It's getting underway. This is the streets where it's a mill and overlay, and then most of the curb and gutter, as well as sidewalk ADA ramps, all the way along 9th Street from Camden to Hull. The 9th and Reed intersection will be a complete tear out, and we'll go back with concrete at that intersection. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
This is just the same thing that we've been over numerous times before, correct?
It's the CDBG grant
Yep.
that was awarded, yes.
I don't have any questions.
All right, I move to approve Resolution R1638 for adoption.
Second.
Motion was made by Mayor Powell and seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve resolution number R-16-38 for adoption. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye. All right, Resolution R1639, a resolution to set a public hearing on a petition to vacate a portion of Pine Street. Again, Thomas Osborne will make comments.
Thank you, Mayor. CVR Energy Nitrogen Fertilizer has contacted the city requesting to vacate a portion of Pine Street from the north right-of-way line of First Street to the north right-of-way line of New. And this just sets the public hearing for the vacation to be on March 22nd during the regular scheduled commission meeting.
Questions?
No.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve R-16-39.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Taylor and seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve resolution number R-16-39 for adoption. Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. All right, Resolution R-1640, a resolution to execute a real estate sales contract with Cole Osborne for the sale of 606 West 4th Street. City Clerk Cindy Price to make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, this was a late addition to the agenda. We did receive an offer. It came in late yesterday afternoon, and we received the contract today on the house at 606 West 4th Street. The offer is for $30,000, and staff is recommending that we accept that offer and proceed with the sale of that property.
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
I move to approve Resolution R-1640 for adoption.
Second.
Motion was made by Mayor Powell and seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve resolution number R-16-40 for adoption. Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
All right, we will now go back and pick up ordinance S-1602, a second reading of an ordinance to approve the annual renewal of the 10-year tax abatement incentive for state maintenance. Assistant to the city manager, Tricia Purdun, will make comments.
Good evening again, Mayor and Commissioners. This is the second reading of the state maintenance tax incentive and abatement. The original exemption request was approved by ordinance S-0905 and effective January 1, 2009. We went through this in the last commission meeting, so I'll keep it short and sweet. We did follow up with some of the questions from the last commission meeting. I went back out to state maintenance to audit their records again, determined that the payroll was in fact higher than in 2009, which was some confusion at the last commission meeting, by about $69,000. So I wanted to make sure that that was addressed tonight. Just in summary, jobs, they're at 35 jobs. I did go back through and confirm those numbers. 3 of those positions are they considered contract positions, but based on the job descriptions provided, expectations of job longevity, expectations that the jobs would continue after the specific job that they are considered contractors for would end. According to the IRS regulations, and I followed up with them, they should be counted as employees of the company, not necessarily contractors. So they would count towards the 35 numbers that they gave us originally, and I did confirm that again. Wages, average salary of state maintenance supply does exceed the median wage of Coffeyville employees of $31,000, which is our median, at $37,669, with an hourly average wage of $17.69. That does include part-time employees. Their annual sales, and one of the things that I wanted to clarify again, that was some confusion. This was not factored into the annual renewal in the first few years of the renewal. Previously, we really had never done a tax abatement for a company like this, interstate trade, where we had done manufacturing in the past. Even in previous staff reports provided to the commission, they cite manufacturing businesses as the examples for why jobs are critical. When we went back and discussed this with the Board of Tax Appeals last year, Kansas Department of Labor and Kansas Department of Commerce, they clarified that businesses involved with interstate commerce should in fact be looked at especially strongly on the sales and tax revenues that come in based on this company, as that is how they would have the biggest impact on communities and how they would repay their tax abatement by returning that investment back to the community. We did go over their annual sales. Their annual gross sales were down from 2014, likely due to large cuts in education funding for 2015, but their annual gross sales were $6,674,824.12 in 2015. local purchases, which I feel is probably their largest impact on our local economy, on the city's tax dollars, and on our citizens. The estimates for local sales taxes have been greatly exceeded each year. In their original application, they anticipated that their local purchases would be $52,000 in 2015. However, their actual local purchases subject to local sales tax were $229,888. This created $6,897 in sales tax revenue from the city. In addition, one of the factors that wasn't clearly explained in the last commission meeting and was pointed out to me in the interim period is their purchases of vehicles. The purchases that they made in 2015 were included in the packet. There were 6 vehicles. They did tag those in Montgomery County, which means that we did receive the sales tax on the purchases of those new vehicles. That equaled over $12,551.12. Thus, just for 2015, they exceeded their annual exemption of $9,539. On top of that, if you factor in the local sales tax of what their employees would make based on the Department of Labor calculations that we use, they would have brought in another $13,900. Thus, the sales tax revenue generated by the company offsets all of the $9,539 tax abatement that they are up for this year. I just wanted to clarify, again, I think there was some confusion last time also. This is only for their expansion that they added on in 2008, 2009. It's not for their full building. It's just that one building and the racks inside of that building. Since this is the second reading, the first one was held on 2/9/16 and tonight, and we did follow the public information process of having it in the public journal. It is staff's recommendation, based on the sales tax revenues alone, that the commission approve the abatement as requested for the addition that was built in 2008 for the total tax abatement of $9,539 out of their total property tax bill of $38,032 that they pay for personal property taxes at 503 North Klein Road. I'm open for any questions.
I have none.
I've got a couple. Trish, you take this.
Mm-hmm.
I passed one of these out to each one of the 4 commissioners. And this document, page number 1, Trish, you and I talked a little bit on Monday along with the city manager.
Correct.
And I reached out to one of the commissioners to talk to him. I haven't had a chance to talk to any of the commissioners, so this is somewhat new. This first document, in 2008, they had 43 employees. Was that the starting number?
That is the starting number that State provided to me last year that they would like us to use. In 2008, when they applied, and the number on the application was 30 employees. And that's what we've left it at, based on we have audited their records,
Okay.
Kansas Department of Labor, and that's the number we've been using.
Okay. And then on page number 2, commissioners, the second page, which is page number 1, the next page is 3, and the next page is 4. You know, I want to be fair about this deal. I don't want to be mean about it. I talked to one of our past mayors. He said you got to look at the numbers. I don't feel like the numbers are quite there. I looked at the original intent is on these 3 pages, and it talks about these jobs, 11 new jobs, okay?
And that was their projection.
It was a projection, but this is what the city commission, when they voted on it, it doesn't really say projection. I mean, it is a projection, but it says the only way, let me quote it, the only way tax exemption of this nature work is if new jobs indicated in the application are actually created.
And that's why I was explaining that to you. Last year, we went to the Kansas Department of Commerce and the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals for clarification on that factor. Because as you continue reading, she cites manufacturing companies, BOC Gases, Darwin Industries. operations of a manufacturer are very different from those of interstate commerce. Your revenues are based on your sales. You can become more efficient, reduce your actual employment numbers, but increase your sales, which increases revenue back for the city. We got clarification on that from the Department of Commerce and the Board of Tax Appeals that, in fact, all four of those factors that are listed on that application should be considered. And again, if you continue reading, in the ordinance itself, it says that the commission is allowed to review that and look at additional information as it comes in. And even Angie says that in her report.
I understand that. I just feel that, and I'm going to cut it short, okay, because I know everybody's ready to vote on this and go on, but I feel that the commission last time voted 75%. I had a conversation with one of the commissioners before this thing came up, and I told him at that time I thought 75%, based on what I know, was fair. And I told Tim Roberts, I thought if I was in your shoes, I think that would be fair to do that, okay? And I want to represent the citizens of Coffeyville, the tax base, and I just feel like that's all I can vote for. That's the most I could vote for. I would feel very good at that. We have a lot of citizens I've talked to. We've got them on both sides. I've talked to them since then, and there's some talk around town about it, and fair is fair, and I just want to say that 75% is fair. It's only a couple $1,000s less per year, and they've had 66,000 or whatever in abatements, and it's only comes to another 2,000. It's going to cost them 8,000, but I think that would be a great negotiation, but as like the last commission did, and I just don't think the numbers are there, but I'll leave it at that, and we'll move on.
Commissioner Castler, you have any comments?
I have none.
Okay, motion.
Move to approve ordinance number S-16-02.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Castler to approve ordinance number S-16-02 for adoption. And that would be at 100%.
That's correct, same as last time.
Mayor Powell.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
No.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
All right, that concludes the agenda for this evening. We will now move on to staff comments. City manager report, I apologize. City manager report. That's what we're ready for.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I'll be brief. I want to give you a quick update on our municipal project. We did have a credit rating call today with S&P, and outlined our case for our credit rating, and we should have that back, I believe, March 1st. Is that correct, Stephanie? And I would like to think that it would be favorable. Window bids are being reviewed. Those were received, and at least I think we had 6 bids. At least the apparent 2 low bidders are below budget. So we're reviewing them, and our recommendation will then need to go to the State Historic Preservation Office, where they will okay the style of windows, and then we will be bringing that to you for your approval. And concurrently, we're working with PEC engineers for the design of the HVAC system, and that will all need to go as a package to SHPO, along with our office designs that you have seen previously. Again, for the Historic Preservation Office to okay that. That's kind of where we are currently with that project. And Thomas did mention that the equipment or the stuff that you see at 11th and Gillum, 10th and Gillum, is actually a laydown yard for the water project, and there's not work being started on that lot as of yet. Also, to follow up with the trash bids that we approved tonight, just a reminder that we will be doing away with the dumpsters at the tree dump. And so the 1st of March, we will be ending that service. Yes, Jim?
I had one complaint. Local resident here thought and I asked him to send you a letter. Did you get a letter?
I have not received anything
Okay.
as of yet.
But it's something we might want to keep open and think about a little bit. He was talking about it, and I didn't quite understand it, but he thought it was going to be a problem. I guess they're overflowing out there now. He said something about it. They're backed up now. I mean, but anyway, I just want to keep an open ear to it. We might want to adjust that a little bit. I don't know.
Well,
Because this gentleman's, I have a little faith in what he says, and I just wondered. I'd ask him to get with you, and I think he was out of town for a day or so.
Okay.
So
And as was I, so,
Okay.
but we just want to remind citizens that everything that we offer there, we offer at their home as well. They, as far as the bulky pickup, and we're going to make that more convenient or more workable.
Well, I told him there was some changes going on.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
Absolutely encourage him to call or
Okay.
talk to me, and
Thank
we'll
you.
figure that out. A lot of bids and RFPs that will be going out or are out currently. We're evaluating RFQs for engineering firms on our the 11th and Willow project, which is the 2018 geometric improvement project. We also have RFPs are sent for auditing firms for what will be a 3-year audit for 2015 through 2017. Airport mowing bids are out, as well as the Phase 3 of the 9th Street project, which is the sidewalks, and both of those are due back March 10th. So we will soon be coming to you with a few more bids for your approval. We are having some interest in some more fiber internet downtown, so we're looking at some options on how we could accommodate those requests and make it a workable thing. The mobile app that we've been talking about is in its final testing. And Cindy, you were saying that about 3 weeks turnaround for the testing?
They indicated we are just about finished with our testing. Then it will be sent out to the Google Play Store. It doesn't take as long for it to, where you can upload it from or download it from the Google Play. It takes a little longer from the Apple Store, but 3 weeks it should be ready. I'll put out an announcement when it's ready. It will make it much easier to use the city's website on your phone.
So look forward to that. I've had a couple inquiries from Commission regarding a couple of houses or structures on South Walnut. Let you know that those have went through the court process. There is an agreement with one of them who will be demoing that on their own, and then we will look to move on the other one by the city. But just so you know that those have cleared the court processes, and we'll move forward with those. I will be also presenting you with an update probably Friday on the pictography. It's been requested we kind of find out where we are in that. And, I can tell you that the scheduled flyover is yet this month, and then there'll be some turnaround and some training that'll be due. But so that's something we had approved previously, but just let you know that we're still working on that, and it's getting closer to coming to fruition. And then finally, I'll just let you know that the League of Municipalities Hometown Showdown contest began today, and that's the March Madness style picture contest. So I would encourage everyone to go to their Facebook page and the League of Kansas Municipalities Facebook, and you'll click on the Hometown Showdown, and the city of Coffeyville in the first round is competing against Baldwin City. And so if you'll go on and like our picture, and the most likes makes it to the next round. And I think if nothing else, you'll enjoy looking at some of the pictures. There's some some really great pictures that cities have submitted. So it's kind of a neat contest.
You need to be sure and do that, and share. It's important that you share it with your Facebook friends so that we get more likes.
Yeah. Independence got second last year, so I think we need to try to outdo Independence. Other than that, I would field questions.
Question, where are we at on the property? West 11th.
The east property, the old school site, we have purchased.
I mean-
The west property is still in, I'll say, a holding pattern. Our offer is still on the table. We keep encouraging the realtor to encourage the owner to accept the offer. But I believe that probably the fast track, it is moving to a sheriff's sale.
So,
We have also discussed eminent domain, but we believe the quickest process is that it would go to a sheriff's sale, unless the owner just decides to accept the offer that we've put before them.
so here's my question, is that I've noticed that the realtor sign out there has changed on the property on the west side. Is that?
And I'll say that I didn't know that. I've been in contact with Linda Patton from George Realty for at least one. Okay, maybe that would explain it.
Okay, she
had moved realtors. But,
okay, well, that would explain it. Second thing is that, is this holding us up?
Frankly, a little bit.
Okay, well, then, I mean, what is the holdup? That he won't accept our offer, or?
There's a title issue with it, and there's an execution sale. I think it's going to be in April, according to the attorney that's handling the execution sale. If he comes up and clears title, then we can go ahead and close it any time. Our fallback position would be eminent domain, but that takes as much time or longer, and it's going to be more expensive to go that route. So at this point, I think our goal here is to try to get it acquired at the execution sale in April.
Okay.
But that is not preventing us from continuing with the design and development. We could have been surveying, by now, and some of those things that we could have been rezoning. So in that regard, it's slowed us down a little. Yeah.
I think that okay. No.
Mayor,
There's a whole lot of things I'd like to say, but I won't.
I would like to make a couple comments about the trash, and this is more for the citizens. The new contract will start April the 1st, so it will be that last week in March when we do the change out. We will be getting information out to all of our citizens if there is a day change when their trash is picked up. So they just need to be looking for that information, but we will communicate well with our citizens. It's kind of confusing when we're doing the change out, but it all works.
Any other staff comments? All right, comments from commissioners?
I have something.
Okay.
I've been out talking to some business people myself, and some of them have suggested that we need to change the process in which we deal with businesses. One of them suggested that some of this abatement stuff needs to be first of all handled in executive session and then brought out, so we can question the people, and then brought out into the public. Some of them said they feel that it was an embarrassment to throw some of the figures out in front of the citizens. And I know there's a Freedom of Information Act and all that, but I feel myself that more business would be apt to try to get this abatement if we figured out a different way to deal with this than putting everything out in public.
Okay.
Yeah, matter of fact, yes. How much more expensive is this going to be to do eminent domain?
It's hard to say, because you're not only paying appraisers at that point, 3 of them, but you're also paying whatever they determine the appraised value of the property to be.
And is the appraised value probably going to be lower than what we're offering right now?
I don't think so.
It just seems like there should be a way that we can
Donald Trump the deal?
Yeah.
There's no way to do it without a little bit of time.
And it's the time factor that then more so than the money factor.
Is there a different arrangement to go to the buildings we don't have to use that land at all?
We could. Our concern is that instead of we would have to go to a second floor of the building, which then we would incur expense of probably an elevator and second form of egress, and at a substantial amount, substantial increase in the price of the building. The elevator alone's $150,000.
Options of layouts or two different buildings separated or something like that.
And we've had them looking at both options, because it was never a guarantee that we'd get both properties.
I just wanted to check we crossed our T's and dotted our I's. That's all I have.
All right, I will move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?